Now we are going to start our Wednesday single digit Q class. Cool. So today we will be talking about this opening where black invaded 3-3, and then white wanted to use this wall, and therefore she played an approach, basically trying to maximize the potential at the lower side. And then here, AI recommended, and when I say AI, nowadays I'm using Katago. So Katago recommended a one space pincer, and then a counter pincer was also recommended by white, which I think it's pretty interesting. In the past, human beings have played a lot of jumps, or a lot of 3-3 invasions, or sometimes a double approach. But I thought the counter pincer was really interesting. So what we're going to focus on today is what happens after black covers white after the counter pincer. So here, always remember that there's a ladder for capturing the stone. Wait, I think I'm hearing myself. Can someone mute their microphone for now? Yeah. Anyway, so we have to pay attention to the ladder. So in this case, white has a stone here. So, okay, I'm just gonna mute all. Sorry. Okay. So, since the ladder is good for white, white can immediately wedge. So now you will see clearly white can capture the stone by ladder, and that's why the wedge is recommended. If the ladder's no good, you can't play the wedge. It would be really bad. Yeah, basically you're gonna lose these two stones just because you can't capture the ladder. So when the ladder is good, go ahead and wedge. And black is forced to Attali from the outside, and most of the time black would extend here just to maintain a wall and seal white on the inside, and white tries to live in the corner. Okay, so this is like all of these moves are pretty much forcing. There's no other way around these moves being played. But right now, white has two choices. The simple one is this: just live in the corner, and then black can just play an extension. And then this is a really basic even situation where white gets corner, black gets influence. Yeah, this is this is the basic variation, okay? And if white wants to play more complicated stuff, white can actually consider a clamp. And here, white is about to cut these 4 stones off from the head, and therefore black needs to do something to basically protect these 4 stones. And there are 2 ways to do it. The most obvious way is to connect, okay? If you just connect, then yeah, black is doing okay. Black is all connected. It's just that black has to figure out how to deal with this move. So this move it's extremely tricky, because what white is hoping is that, oh, if black connects, then I go back and live. And then I have 2 extra reduction stones in black's, around black's wall. And if black pincers me, I could probably just run out, and I think I'm good. And basically, white's gonna do okay. Black, not so much. So this is an extremely difficult move to deal with. So if you ever run into this situation, I hope that you will always remember that black can play this move. This is a move recommended by AI to kind of counter this, I guess, this trick move, if you will. What this move is doing, it's saying that, okay, you are allowed to cut me, but I can always connect back. So that is, this move basically is saying white is really inefficient after cutting. Basically, after cutting, black is starting to build some territory on this side, and white's not. White is basically just have very poor shape, and the cut is basically just a dame. Yeah, and I do want to point out that this corner is not alive yet, so cutting like this is not, it's really not great. And actually, if white spends a move here, then, I mean, white's already dead here. So the cut is extremely not favorable for white to play right now, okay? And that is why when white jumps down, black can consider this attachment, and it's basically saying, oh, these 2 points are like a miai. If white, say white disconnects from the second line, then black can consider a wedge. Say white, captures a stone. Then what does black do right now? Anyone? Oh, I think I muted all of you guys. So if some of you want to voice out,
Maybe kill the corner.
Oh yes, exactly. Go ahead and kill the corner, right? You just do like this, and say white blocks. You just hane, and then here it's really easy to kill. You just hane, and then it's a bulky 5 shape. You just poke out the eye. Yeah, pretty simple to kill. And if white descends, you can even like monkey jump and aim at this cut, right? So yeah, basically when black attaches, white cannot cut here, cannot descend to cut here, white cannot cut anymore, and therefore white just focus on, let's also talk about these possible variations. Instead of cutting, say white just makes some shape. Here, black can even extend, and white still has to deal with these 2 miais, right? So if white descends, say black just connect, aiming at this cut, and white connects, and then black, once again, can just come back and kill the corner. Yeah, really simple. There might be some aji over here, but actually, yeah, you don't have to worry too much about it because black has plenty of liberties. Say, oh, white starts shorting liberties. Well, actually, white need to extend her liberties, otherwise she'll lose these 2 stones. And black needs to descend, and then white starts shorting liberties, and then it's just a capturing race. And clearly, black wins by 1 liberty, right? White shorts, and then black just extends here, Attali this entire thing. So you don't have to worry too much about that cut. So here, instead of playing a tiger's mouth, white can also consider a hane. And to deal with this hane, black can actually cross-cut here. And say white make shape, make a nice tiger's mouth shape, and then a second line capture. Then black does the same thing, connect his cutting point, aiming at this. White defends, black can take a sente. And then black kind of repeats the same sequence again, except this time black is 1 liberty short, right? So previously we just saw a scenario where black can kill the entire white group, but he won by 1 liberty. But now because of this stone, he's 1 liberty short, so we don't have to kill this group right away. We can focus on defending our cutting point in a really efficient way. So we can play an attachment here to fix this cutting point first, okay? So say we make some exchanges. This move is threatening to connect underneath, so let's just block that. So now what black has no cutting points, black is doing just fine, meaning that white really owes a move to live in the corner now. Say white lives now, then basically white has too many weaknesses. White, first of all, has this cut to deal with, and second of all, this group is not, it's not alive. What if black still tries the capturing race? Okay, let's look at this again. So let's just show what. So let's just assume black defends here, and we repeat the same process. Well, I mean, black is 1 liberty short, so yeah, black loses this capturing race. Or if black tries to kill from this side, I mean, black still loses the capturing race by 1 liberty. So I hope that answers your question, though, Oliver. That's why when black is 1 liberty short over here, it's recommended that you play the attachment first to fix all your cutting point, though that gives white. But if he plays at R1, he can still win. R1. Okay, sorry. Let's go back here. So there's a R1 move. Yeah, black cannot approach at R1. He has to fix these two before he can approach the R1. Yeah, he can't just play there. So black is actually 1 liberty short because of this white stone. But that's not a big deal because black doesn't have to kill white in order to get a good result. Black can just fix the outside with an attachment, and when white lives, black can actually get this as a sente because otherwise white is going to die. White needs to run, and then black can come back and cut this. So basically white's this side is really hurt. This side is still running, and white has only claimed like 5 points in the corner. And yeah, white is really passive everywhere and has weak groups. So this result, even though black did not kill the entire corner, this result is really bad for white. Yep. So let's go back. Yeah, so basically, when black plays attachment, whatever white plays here, trying to cut or hane or tiger's mouth or whatever, white always owes a move in the corner to live. So therefore, instead of white spending any move here at all, white should probably consider saving the corner first, okay? So, when white plays an attachment here, it's really important that black does not, it's not stubborn about cutting white. Because if you cut white now, white is already alive. And if white is already alive, then actually white can start, I think white can actually start cutting black stone out. So basically this entire black group doesn't have a base while white is already alive, black will have to like fight his way out in order to make eye shape or gain thickness. So yeah, basically this entire black wall is not, it's not particularly strong or making a lot of points, whereas white already took out a bunch of points. And if black hunts from this side, it's even worse, because right now white can first cut and then cut. And if black is still really stubborn about separating white, then this is just a really simple ladder. And we know that white would only, in the beginning, white would only wedge whenever the ladder is good for white. So yeah, this ladder is going to be good for white, and black just loses cutting stones. So when white attaches, don't try to like counterattack by Hane. Black should really fix the Aji here and just do his best to maximize his potential while fixing the Aji. Here, white needs to defend, and actually, before defending, white can leave some more Aji by connecting into this stick shape. Black is just keeping his stones connected, and then white comes back and fix. And then black just plays a big net to kill all the stones here. And then white can Tanuki right now. So basically in this sequence, white took out the entire corner, but black also developed pretty good influence and killed the 3 stones. So note that these 3 stones, while it's dead, there are really good ways to utilize the Aji of the 3 stones. And it starts with this wedge. So for example, if black captures, the easiest way to use the Aji of the 3 stones is to just play a bunch of Attali and forcing moves. Attali, and then Hane, and then you can see that these 3 stones are about to be squeezed. So let's say black wants to avoid getting squeezed, he plays a double Attali and then capture. Yeah, if black does not play a capture, white can get squeezed, right? So black plays a capture. Then white can actually just jump out, see black blocks, then white can already play like a 3-space extension. So this result is obviously bad for black because his wall was like, it wasn't very useful in terms of attacking these stones on the outside. In fact, it gave white too many free moves. And white's invasion to the right side was pretty successful. So let's go back here. So basically, if black captures this stone, white will get too many sente moves on the outside, and it will be too good for white. So black, in this case, will actually want to defend here. And interestingly, in this case, white would just go ahead and cut, forcing black to capture. So it seems like white didn't really gain anything, but actually what white got is this sente endgame. So previously, if white did not make any sort of exchange, the endgame move here, this is sente for black. But because she made this little wedge exchange, she can reverse that sente and take that sente back. So you can think of this as gaining like a extra 2, like adding 2 points to the komi. So now black is like paying a 9.5 komi instead of 7.5 komi just because she made the wedge. So it's like free 2 points. Why not? This is the basic pattern, and it's important for white to know how to use this wedge Aji later on, be it for endgame or for invading black's right side. And obviously after black plays all these moves, he got rid of most of the Aji, then white really needs to start invading black's right side because the influence is pretty intimidating, I'd say. So this would be a somewhat even position for both sides. It's playable for both. So let's go back. So here, when white clamped, previously we talked about this move, which leads to white's one space jump, which is a trick hoping black would connect. But turns out there's another way for black to play. So whatever black plays, he has to support these 4 stones, right? So black can actually consider a Hane. So this is like playing a forcing. This, I know a Hane seems like an endgame move. It's not very interesting, but white cannot attack black as long as he has the chance of capturing the stone. So this is like a pretty nice way to get like free endgame moves, like free points in the beginning of the game. And after the Hane, white's corner is not alive, okay? So ideally, white would probably need to live here. And then black can play an extension to gain points. And obviously white can start a fight. Something like this. And black can block. And you can see that this immediately will become a fight for both sides. It will be quite difficult, but it's playable for both sides. Yeah. So yeah, here white can also consider this move, because if white saves this stone, then these 4 stones are still in danger, right? So black can still play in an extension. I know it seems a little wide, but black is still connected. For example, 1 space gem you can just connect underneath. There's nothing to be afraid of. But certainly, black has some aji here that white can take advantage of. So here, white can press black down to a second line. And now, since white has this, can still cut black, black actually owes a move here to defend. Like black cannot play elsewhere, otherwise it will be just Attali and Hane and killing. White would kill these 4 stones. So black do want to defend. And when black defends, remember that this shape, white still owes this diagonal move to live, right? Otherwise, when black diagonals this, there's a chance that he can Hane and then kill this, poke out the bulky 5 shape. So white still needs to live. And now black, wants to stay connected, but before he does that, he can take a nice little Hane on the outside. White can make this exchange. And then, now it's a pretty interesting scenario. If if white does play a Hane to separate black and start a fight, white's shape is actually like pretty horrible. This is a very extraordinarily difficult fight for white. Yeah, even if white runs out, I could imagine that black would be gaining a lot of territory on the right side, and actually black would probably gain a lot of influence in the center as well. So since starting the fight would result in a really terrible result for white, right now it's the best time for white to just play Tanuki elsewhere and treat these stones lightly. And black actually owes a move before he can attack white very efficiently. Because, white always has the chance to play Hane and create a lot and basically cut black into 2 groups and create a lot of aji later on. So yeah, this is also playable, but I guess it's quite difficult for both sides because the shapes are not settled. But it's because the shapes are not settled that gives white a little more flexibility in terms of managing this group. For example, if white ever wants to, reduce the potential of this side, a really simple bend will already do. Really, yeah, you can just keep pushing along, and that is already a really good and easy way to like reduce black's potential on this side. Yeah, so I thought this was quite an interesting shape where neither side wants to settle this, and then white just go ahead and Tanuki elsewhere. So let's see. So we covered the basic pattern where white just lives here and black just plays an extension. And we also covered the really difficult to deal with trick move. Yeah, don't connect here, play the attachment here. Wherever white does, on this side, the white will always owe a move to live in the corner. You can always kill her later on with a diagonal move here. And therefore, white tries to live, and black just focus on defending while white defends her connection. And we also talked about the aji here. I guess we could talk about some interesting I guess we could talk about the motivation for this counter pincer, like why not the jump and then pincer? Doesn't this put more pressure on black? So I just want to say, to understand why not jump and play the counter pincer and then play a counter pincer, we can ask ourselves this scenario. If white counter pincers and black plays a one space jump, and assume that white absolutely wants to play a one space jump, which jump is more valuable? Like, I can tell you right away, this jump has both, gives you both points and influence, whereas this jump would give you points and influence if and only if you kill the stone, right? I mean, if black runs out, then this, like when you're jumping, these are all just dame. Like, you're not going to make points with this jump, and therefore, if you have to play a jump, I would definitely recommend playing from this side instead of jumping on that side, right? So, and actually, if white jumps here, and say black wants to maintain his connectivity, black would need to consider a cover. And it turns out that this stone it's really hard to kill it completely. For example, if white plays a diagonal move here, and if black tries to defend the entire corner, then white can actually just hane. And then here, if black is really stubborn and tries to kill white like this, then white can just easily give up this the stones. And white got sente, and actually the corner still has really bad aji. Like white can still attempt to invade the corner. And if yeah, so for example, if black plays here, white pulls his stone out. Yeah, white, say if black takes, then white is already almost alive. Yeah, just to quickly show you what I mean by almost. Yeah, black would have to like play a hane, and then white can actually push out hane and then push out from the outside. So basically, and also if black plays a shape move, then white can also just invade the corner easily. Yeah, and if black tries to save the corner, then white loses, then he would lose this stone. So basically what I'm trying to show you is that it's very not urgent to play a one space jump to try to save the stone. And if anything, you actually want to make really good use of the agi of this stone and and in order to destroy black's territory. For example, if black plays like this, you can already consider invading the 3-3. And then black's position, black is just really not efficient. Like spending so many moves just to kill one little stone. And then while white has both influence and points in the corner, yeah. So I'd say, I hope that kind of explains that the one space jump on this side is not, it's really not that valuable. And that's why it actually makes a lot of sense to just directly counter pincer. And when black covers, yeah, there will be, yeah, this is the basic pattern. Any questions or any particular positions that you guys want to go over so far? If not, I guess I could go into a little deeper regarding the Aji stuff. Yeah. Say, so previously I've been talking about black playing this extension, and it actually feels maybe a little too narrow. So, well, there's a good reason for that, because white can still kind of challenge black's wall with a clamp, right? And now when white clamps, you don't have to play like a connection anymore. Or if you do, then it's kind of like white sent a reduction move. Yeah, you're giving white a sent a reduction move. So it's actually recommended that black plays a tiger's mouth. Tiger's mouth means that, oh, I want more of the influence and possibly enclosing this entire area, basically killing white. So there's a reason why the position is like over here. It's quite specific. It's because when white Attalis and tries to come down and kill your 4 stones, black can afford this diagonal kick. It's basically aiming at, connecting, right? Q6. What if black plays Q6 instead? Q6. I guess you're talking about this tiger's mouth, which allows white to sente cut your 3 stones. Is that so? Because if that's the case, then I think white just kind of sente cut off these 3 stones, which is quite painful for black. That's why I think. Yeah. I hope you see it. Black would basically have to run this group out. Black cannot lightly give away these 3 stones anymore, because if black just dies here, like if white gets one more move here, then white's influence is just way too good. So black has to run out his group, which I don't think it's probably the best. Yeah. So usually in the beginning of the game, we care a lot about influence, just because influence allows you to control like space. And in the beginning of the game, there's a lot of space in the center. So I think this moves make a lot of sense if you're ready for what's gonna happen next. Because when white plays diagonal, the diagonal move, it seems like black is the 4 stones might die. This kick is aiming to connect underneath. So if white is really stubborn, white is so focused on killing black stones, white would absolutely need to descend. And here, the recommended move is just an Attali from the outside. And if white counts liberty, she would know that with an ugly move like this, she can already kill black's, 4 stones. 1, 2, 3 versus 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Black descends, white hanes, capture, capture. So white killed these 4 stones in Gote, whereas but black got an incredible wall that's 100% alive. This is basically a really amazing thickness, and white's territorial gain is only a little bit here. So this is actually way too good for black. I know there might be challenges to give up stones for some players, but I really hope that you challenge yourself to understand why sometimes giving up stones like this to gain an incredible thickness on the outside in Sente is wonderful. It's truly wonderful for black. So I hope that explains why the extension is specifically over. It's at this spot. It's because it really helps with black gaining thickness in Sente by giving up the 4 stones if white cuts black. White obviously has another option. White can extend out, but then black just connects. Then white's cut is, it's hard to say that white is benefiting a lot, especially, yeah, white can keep extending out and help black gain more and more territory on the right side, but I don't think that's very efficient for white to play like this. Yeah. So that's why black would play an extension over here. So let's go back. That was that Aji. We can also talk about this one where white starts a fight. And let's say black gets a block and white defends. So we can also talk a little bit about the Aji of this corner. So my question for you guys right now is that if black plays a move like this, how should white defend? Well, white has to defend, right? I'll let you choose between the descent and the tiger's mouth. Which one do you guys prefer? So it has a lot to do with, tiger's mouth is the typical shape move whenever you want to make life, right? So let's talk about tiger's mouth. If white plays the tiger's mouth, then my question for you is that, is black's descent Sente? Is it Sente against the corner? So, okay, so, okay, so someone said that the corner's alive already. Okay, great. So I'm gonna try to play something and you guys try to stay alive, okay? Oh, it is Sente. Okay, so white Tanukis now. How would black go about harassing the corner? Feel free to use the annotate tool or just speak out loud. So someone suggested Q1. Q1 is the shape move. So white obviously tries to make an eye. And then black would play N1. Well, if black plays N1, then white is alive, right? This is an I, that's an I. So, but you're really close, Brendan. You're really, really, really close. All you need to do is just poke out an I, right? So P2. Exactly. Someone said R1. Good job, Brandon. So if you make this, white tries to do this, and then play the favorite move that most people want to play. What's next? Exactly. Everyone likes to throw in. That's what I learned. That's why I like Go, because throwing in feels good. Yeah, great. So we concluded that the descend is indeed Sente. Great. So now I'm going to ask you another question. Is this diagonal move a potential Sente? Obviously, it's aiming at a Ko. So can black, so I guess the question is, if white Tanukis, can black Ko kill the corner? Okay, so how would we Ko kill the corner? What's black's first move? Same thing. I see. I actually think that, so the same thing would be a little different, because if we repeat the same sequence, the throw in, white's not going to capture, white can just fill, right? So the same thing would not work, but something is going to work. Something. Can't do the same thing, but something else. Just make sure you make really good use of this stone. I mean, the easiest way to use this stone is to just just start the Ko right away, right? And say white is absolutely going to try to avoid the Ko. Oh wait. So someone said if black plays P2, yeah, you just make an I. Then that's an I, that's an I. Yeah, the Attali here doesn't do anything, right? Yeah, yeah. So don't poke at the tiger's mouth, because your opponent can make the other tiger's mouth. So what black needs to do here, here's a really simple way to start the Ko. Attali, say white wants to avoid a Ko, then here you can just go ahead and kill this thing. I know it looks like a living shape because it has 6 spots arranged as a rectangle, but white cannot play here, right? It's a self-Attali, right? So meaning that when black plays here, white already has to start fighting over this Ko immediately. Like white has to take. Otherwise, if white fills up that liberty, black can just start killing white. If white cannot connect at O2, can black play N1 after M1 to kill white instead of throwing in at Q1? So actually, I don't fully understand that question. If you don't mind, do you want to just use your microphone and speak, Rohith?
Sure. So instead of black playing L1, can black just play M1? And then we were talking about the situation where white Tanuki'd before. Can black just play N1 and just Atari that instead of throwing in a Q1? So before black plays L1, instead of playing L1, black plays M1.
Oh, before you even play a diagonal, black plays this and then this?
No, sorry. Black plays M1 and then N1 when white Tanukis.
Sorry. Black plays this and then white Tanukis and then here.
Yeah. Is that enough? Is that enough to kill is the question.
Oh, that is a great question. How would like white live in co here? White, I can tell you that white can live in the co right now. And I guess there are only so many spots. So if you play one of the key moves, then you can live in the co.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Q1 does seem promising.
Exactly. So, I mean, if black cuts, what does white do? If black cuts, white would play what to make the ko? You guys see it? P2. Yeah, Brandon, you got it. Right? Really obvious ko. If black takes, obviously you play here. Now the capturing the ko and playing here becomes miai, right? So black has to play here again, and then white makes the ko, right? Yep. So in this case, yeah, the Attali, seems like it would work if white connects, but white has a pretty nice move that would make a ko. So the only killing move is this, right? Okay, great question. Yeah, so when you're trying to live, it's really important to understand what kind of sente you're giving up. If white plays a tiger's mouth, black has two options, A and B. A will help white. If black plays A, black can potentially make an I here. So that's one way that he can support his group over his group that has to run. And if black, and if black plays B, and it's also sente, then black has a pretty good reduction move against this side, right? Which also explains why white played like such a seemingly slow move to defend this side. So when we try to defend our corner, it's important to understand the aji left behind. If you play Tiger's Mouth, you're giving black two options. If you're playing Descend, how many options does black have? I mean, black certainly can get this, sente, right? That's it. Yeah. But black will not be able to get a sente move from a diagonal, right? So if you have to choose again, which one's better? So I hope you see that the one with less aji is better. Yeah, descending is much, much, much better than playing a tiger's mouth, just because black can get a really nice diagonal move and pretty significant reduction against white side. Okay, so yeah, that's one thing about aji. Cool. Okay, we still have 10 minutes. Do you guys have any questions you want to go over so far? Is everything clear? Get J2 if he descends. Sorry. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Say black play like this, descends. Yeah, descente. Yeah, black can get J2. But yeah. I guess it's, yeah, but I mean with the diagonal, you go to H2, right? Can black get J2 if he descends instead of H2? Oh yeah. Yeah, black can even play here, but previously, if black played a diagonal, then black was playing at H2, right? So that's why black can basically choose between two ways to use the corner aji. So if you're wondering if there's a cut, well, there's no cut, right? If you have the diagonal, there's no cut. K2, yeah, there's no cut if black has this diagonal, right? So cut for J2. If black J3. Wait, sorry, I'm getting quite confused. You guys want to just speak out loud?
Sure. Sorry. So in the descend scenario, I was wondering whether there's any difference with the aji of the cut if you play like J2 versus H2, right? So now you can like push up and cut the stone or something.
So
I'm not sure how to evaluate the points there.
So black cannot play H2 anymore, or at least cannot stay connected anymore. A really simple way to disconnect is either, like just a descend or a kick, right? So black cannot think of H2 anymore. He can only play J2. And obviously there's no problem with this connection. It's basically a monkey jump or a reverse monkey jump, if you will. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a monkey jump. So black can certainly play J2, but you can't go H2. Does that make sense?
I think question is, can black go up now?
Oh, like can black go up? Oh yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. You just can't. I guess you can cut, but yeah. But I guess capturing some stones, I guess these kind of local scenarios, I guess it's not the main point in the beginning of the game. Like these are just end game stuff. So I wouldn't read too deep into it in the early stage of the game. Right now, the most important thing is actually, over this fight. But yeah. Yeah, if black has to play anything at all, it'll be either this jump or that jump. Yeah. Okay. Still got a few minutes. Okay. I guess I'll give you guys a really quick bonus content. So here, I don't know if you guys seen this, but previously I was talking about, how ladder must work for white in order to wedge. But sometimes black can play like this ladder breaker. And to deal with this situation, the AI recommendation was a Hane here, which is still threatening to ladder these stones. And it's quite interesting because the AI would recommend Hane, and then black saves his stone, white plays Attali. Oh, Brandon, goodbye. See you next time. Attali, and then white descends. Basically, white tries to enclose black's corner into this region, and if you count the points, what black has about 17 points. But white has already built, like Sente built influence already. And actually, these two stones are short in liberty. So in the future, white can get like Attali and Sente. So white's influence is actually pretty powerful. And yeah, so basically white's wall is strong enough to substantiate a direct approach. And AI actually prefers white's position a lot. So this is just to give you an idea of what to do if your opponent Attali's you from this side and tries to break that ladder with this extension. You don't need to read out any sort of complicated Attali and cut. Just remember to Hana here, force black to defend, and then give up your some stones and seal black in Sente. Black's corner is of only 17-point territory, and white gets really good influence on the outside and can get Sente to approach another corner. So yeah, this is in the beginning I thought I find it difficult to understand like how good this is for white, but if let's say we repeat this again, just repeat the whole Joseki sequence. Oh, sorry, again. Okay, real quick. Then you can see that, well, first of all, you see the value of Sente, right? Because white got a wall extension, a wall extension, a wall and extension that goes well with her corner. And second of all, you don't see any potential for black anymore, right? I don't see where black can develop any sort of significant territory because black always ended in gote, and white has always maintained Sente and did a great job of expanding the influence from her wall. So, oh, what do you mean that so it destroys Aji? I don't understand. So, well, anyway, I just want to let you know that this is at least white's win rate from this position should be at least like 70% by Katago. So, yeah, this is just to let you know that it is okay to give up some stones and let black have like a 17-point corner and take Sente and quickly expand your influence and build potential territory. So that's that. I think that's all I have for today. And Oliver, if you don't mind, could you explain to me what do you mean by so it destroys Aji? Or feel free to unmute yourself if you have a microphone. Oh no, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. So, yeah, okay, bye Oliver. Thank you guys for coming. I will definitely upload these lectures to YouTube. Feel free to review them, leave a comment, or yeah, just let me know if you guys have questions. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys. How do I stop?